course, for today's event, we have a special guest.
So you all know that in the scientific community, we have like our own kind of family, right? So your advisor becomes your dad or your mom, and then your nannies become like your siblings. So tonight we will have my scientific dad.
And my scientific granddad.
So please let's welcome Dr. Adhikari for Thesis Story.
Academic. I am a really not a good storyteller. Okay, really not. You know, like if you want me to give a lecture on food safety in any topic, boom, I can talk for hours. But storytelling is not my thing. And they asked me a couple of times, you know, like for last couple of program, and I have like a lot of excuse, you know, like, and now I was out of the excuse, so I have to do it now. Okay. Anyway. I will talk about some of my school, you know, like a schooling, especially with my university time, okay? I went to university when I was 15 years old. You may be thinking, yeah, Dr. Adhikari may be a very smart guy. I'm not a smart guy, really. You know, like what happened was, during our time, okay, we go to university after 10th grade, okay? So when you get to the 10th grade, you will have a big exam, and then for the 11th and 12th, in our university, we have a like undergraduate program. Like before undergraduate, we have this ISC, Intermediate Science in Certificate something, okay? And if you go to a science, then there were two different routes. Either you take physics, and then you become an engineer, or you take biology and become a doctor, okay? I went for physics. I took physics, but it was a boring class, okay? Because, like, out of 100 students in our class, there were only one girl. Most of the girls, you know, like they go to the biology. Okay? So I was, you know, like I was 15 years old and I was very tiny. Very small guy. But I have like even though I was very tiny, small, very thin, I had a lot of energy and, you know, like a big dream, okay? And when I went to college, I grew up in a town which was very communist, okay? Communist influence. So when I went to college, you know, like my family, all of them were like a communist, okay? And then I revolted and I became a Democratic. Okay? So I ran for a president of my college, you know, like they're tiny, against those communists. Okay? And that was scary, really scary. There was like a lot of story. I don't want to really, you know, like spill all the like things right now. But I lost. Okay? I lost, but I lost with a very minimum margin. And the best thing what happened was, you know, like that really put an example of, oh, you can actually come in the front. You can actually speak up against communists also, okay? And that really gave a lot of people confidence to step up. And from the next year, the Democrats started winning the election. Okay? So that was a really good thing that I stepped up and then, you know, like run for the election. So, you know, like after the ISC, you know, like I went to a food science undergraduate program. And in an undergraduate program, okay, I'm not a really good student. Okay? I'm really not a good student. During undergraduate, I was like very, like as I say, like I went to university when I was 15 years old. I was very thin. Okay? Very thin. Can you guess like what was my weight during that time? Huh? No, in pounds. 110. You know, like I was like 110, 108, you know, like 110 pounds for a long time. You know, like in microbiology, we say like we were in lag phase. I was in lag phase all the time until I married this beautiful lady. And then my weight goes to the exponential. 6 months. 6 months, I was like 165 pounds. It was a magic stick, you know, like 6 months from 110 to 165 pounds. So these days, you know, like everyone is worried about losing their weight. I don't worry about it. You know, this is a hard gain. You know, like, I already went there 110 pounds for a long time, so I want to keep this weight. You know, like, really, you know, like this is not something I want to lose. So after I finish my undergraduate in food science, again, I have big dreams always, you know, like really big dreams. So I feel like I know everything. I know to process all the foods and everything. So I thought like, oh, why not start an industry? So I opened a food industry, like a small cottage food industry with $500. Okay, $500. So I have like $250 I borrowed from my dad, and then $250 with my friend. So we partner, we open an industry, and you know, like very fortunate that you know, like there were some businessmen, like a really good friend of mine. They invest on us, like they were bringing tomato paste from China. So they gave us like a week we were able to borrow tomato paste because they bought tomato paste, tons of tomato paste, and they couldn't sell. And it was you know like you can only you know like store for a lot of certain time because it's at a certain shelf life. So they were like, okay, if you want to open an industry with the kids, take this one, and then when you get money, pay us. So we pay only that $500 for you know like some of those seasonings and other things. We use bottles from recycling. We use labels from another friends printing. So 15 people we employed. 2 years, you know like at the age of 22, you know, like I was the entrepreneur. Company paid you know, a lot of money. You know like I was spending good money. Oh my gosh, it was a real good time, really good time. Okay. I can't say all those good things that we did during that time. real. But after 2 years, there were political instability, so I had to sell. And then I went back to college. And I started a master's program. And that was the first time in Nepal they opened this master's in food technology, the first batch. And I went to, you know, like, and there we have only 10 seats, okay, 10 quota. And some of those, you know, like that were enrolled, like, were my classmates, were my previous instructors. Okay, imagine, you know, like you going class with me, Dr. King, Dr. You know, like Tuli, Dr. Mike Keenan, we're in the same class. Okay, so we were besties. Real fun time. Oh my gosh, like we went to a tour, and then you know, like the teacher that your professor before, we're besties now. So that was a real fun time. Okay, and when we were working for a master's, we would also have to do a TA. Okay. And then I had a chance to teach, okay? And you know, like I forgot to tell you, like I did the politics, but I left politics because I realized I was not a really good speaker. Okay, if you in a politics, you need to really give good speech. Okay, realize that's not my profession. So I quit that. Okay, but when I was teaching, I realized I am a good teacher. You know, like I enjoy teaching. Rather than good teacher, I really enjoy teaching. So I thought, okay, this is my profession. This is what I really need to continue. So I went to a capital, and then I helped open the first Master's in Food Microbiology program in Nepal. And you know, like Manish is the second batch of that program. Okay? We also opened the undergraduate in food technology program, and Dr. Corral is also a product from that program. Okay, and during that time, I was very lucky. You know, like I used to look for all those opportunities, and I always submit application. And I got an opportunity to go to Wageningen Agriculture University in Netherlands for 3 months for food safety program. Okay, and Uppsala University in Sweden for another food safety program. And that really, you know, like ignite my interest in food safety. I thought like, oh, I need to really go for my PhD program because I want to develop my profession in food safety. Okay? And I came back to the Washington State University. I was looking for Dr. Loso. He's not here. Okay, Dr. Loso also went to Washington State University, and I saw his name somewhere here. And I need to tease him in the bench. He used to like put his name, you know, like when you in the graduate school, you write the name in the bench. So he went to Wazoo also. So in Wazoo, you know, like there like a lot of snow. Okay, a lot of snow. Okay, so I came from Nepal. Okay, so whenever I tell people like, where are you from? Where are you from? When I say like I'm from Nepal, the first thing people used to ask me, have you climbed a Mount Everest? So they think like, you know, like Nepal is all like Himalayas. I'm from a place where you hardly see snow. There is no snow. You know, like whenever I'm never been to the mountains. But there, like, you have so many snow, so much snow, real, like a lot of snow. So the first week, you know, like I had to get into the lab and work starting from the first week. My research was in composting. Okay, I'll tell you the story about the compost later. But you know, like that snow place was the first time I was. Okay, and I have another classmate, the lab mate. She told me, you know, like, hey, you know, like when you have snow, you need to be very careful. When you walk in snow, you need to see. Otherwise, those branches they will accumulate all the snow, and then the branches will fall, and people have died because of the snow. So it's really scary. So one day, you know, like I was working in the lab until 11. Okay? There was a storm, big winter storm. And you know, like I went out, oh my gosh, like big winter storm. The bus, there was no bus, and I had to walk back to my apartment. Okay? I was really scared. You know, like I didn't know anybody because it was like first or second week. And what I did was, you know, like I looked and there was a police car coming. I stopped the police car, you know, like I stopped that car, and then they stopped, and then I look at the window, and there was a police lady. Okay, there was a female police officer. Now I said, could you please give me a lift? You know, like I am. my apartment is like really for there's so much snow out of there. She looks at me, you know, like from the top, and no. She told me, you know, like, in Nepal, where I come from, you know, like you can actually ask police for the lift, and they give you when you are in a trouble. Right now, I'm thinking that, oh my gosh, like now you don't want to get that. Really scary, okay? Oh gosh, you know, like. So my research was in compost, and I went to food science program. Okay, food science PhD compost doesn't make any sense to people. You know, like in the building, remember, in like AFSL, you have all the sensory and everything. That's kind of like similar there. You know, food science building, all sensory program really good, all the people making nice foods. And I am the one who is bringing all the poop in the building, okay? And they were all the students used to ask me, how come you working with poop and all the things and you are a food science? That doesn't really make any sense, okay? So we used to, you know, like my lab, you know, like my field was 5 hours, like since it was in Seattle. So I had to bring, you know, like the samples and then run in the lab all the time. And in microbiology, you know, like you need to enrich your sample, okay? You put your, you know, like a compost manure in a bottle with media, and then you incubate, okay? And after incubation, you autoclave that, okay? So I do like 30 samples, 40 samples, 50 samples. So you remember 50 bottles of enriched, okay, in bottled pepper and water, compost. I did not know that, you know, like I autoclave, and then when I opened the autoclave door, boom, you know, like everything was everywhere. It was smelling so bad, really bad. And then, you know, like my lab, in front of my lab was another professor, Dr. Kong. Okay, really nice professor, very gentleman. I hardly heard him speak before that. He was so angry. He came to that lab and then kicked that door, pump it out. What is this going on? Because then all the smell went to his room. You know, like, oh my gosh, you know, like really scared. So from that day onwards, every time when I have to do like autoclave, I used to do Friday when everyone goes, you know, like, autoclave, and then, you know, like that day, Saturday, I will come and spray everywhere, Sunday spray everywhere, Monday, it's really good, you know, like really good, okay? So that, oh my gosh, that compost, really, it was really, really interesting part. But anyway, you know, like my PhD program was really good, okay? And you know, like we had a really good time, okay? And we had during when I was PhD, I have another son also. He's not here. Okay? He always used to come here and then win a couple of, you know, like a kids. Okay, awards. So he's not here, but he, you know, like he was born in Pullman. And I'm very, very thankful, you know, like I have a really great life partner, okay, like my love of my life. Okay, she was always by my side, okay, supporting me when I was in PhD. You know, like you know, remember I was telling you I was not smart. So when yeah, after the 10th grade, you know, like you have to give the big exam. I was actually a second division pass. Okay? She was the first division pass. She was the first division pass, but she stayed home and then she really supported me for my PhD. And like we finished that PhD, really great thing. That happened.
And then
So-
you have another son here.
Yeah, no, I was saying like the small one was born over there, and then he was 3 years old during that time, okay, and then he went to 4 years old, and then he was always active, very much active. So she has to take care of him, and then the small one, and then both of them. So. It was like a real, and like you guys get like how much like a scholarship they get this year? 5,000, 6,000. Like my assistancy was $1,000 per month, and then we live like four of us, like we live on that $1,000. But we are like happy life. Okay, everything was good. So. So the important part again, so coming back to all the story is, in life you will have, sometimes difficult times. Okay, sometimes you will feel like, it's the end of the wall, and you feel like, oh, there is nothing wrong. There is nothing you can think about. But if you may have already those times before also. If you think from now about those times, you will realize, oh, I was so worried during that time, okay? Worried during that time, and it was not as much critical for you right now as during that time, okay? So everything happens in life is for a good reason, okay? So when you face some difficulty or something happens, there is always a positive side that comes with it, okay? So you just need to think positively, because in our culture we always say that if the future is already written, okay, but the future is written in you, but there is always a two path, okay. When you come to a stop, you have to either take one road or another road, okay. And if you take one road, if you take a wrong side, okay, you will have another stop to make it correct and then go to another road, okay. So life is kind of like an hazard analysis and critical control. So life is kind of like a hazard. So what you really need to do is to identify your hazards. Identify your hazards, and you really need to make sure that you have those critical control points in place and monitor closely those points. Okay? So if you do the right thing, if you do right thing at the right time, right thing at the right time will prevent those hazards. And then it will help you, not spoil your success. Okay? So it's really important that you really need to sanitize your thought. Okay? You need to sanitize your thoughts. So you need to really make sure that those, negative thoughts will not contaminate. So important part again is, what I really learned from life is, you need to have a really great dream. Okay? You really need to have a big dream. But you need to have a defined goal. So between a goal and a dream is, a dream is what you really want to be, and the goal is a path to achieve that dream. Okay, if you kind of like you are dreaming about on a really nice plate of food. Okay, so but you need to make sure that you produce that, with all those critical control points in place, so that that food comes uncontaminated. If you do not put those critical control points and you do not really focus on step-by-step process, then there will be a chance that it will contaminate, okay? And it will spoil, and you probably will have a foodborne disease, or you have to recall your plant, okay? Or you have to recall the plant. So make sure, your dream, okay, your goal is as fresh as produce. Okay, so put it in the right temperature, handle it properly, it will be really good. That's all. Thank you so much. Yeah.